Okay, just a quick video today. I wanted to do an update on the Gixie Clock. A few weeks ago I reviewed this thing and I'd had it in the box for a while, and I took it out, and whilst I said that I liked the idea of the concept, the execution was lacking. One of the tubes failed on me, or the LED light arrays below failed, and a few of them weren't glued together properly, and I just did a quick video about it because I thought it's something that people would be interested in seeing. It was a project that had been on Indiegogo about 10 months ago or so, whilst with all these videos I do want the things I show to be a success. I don't go into any of these thinking, oh, I'm going to show this will be rubbish, won't it be funny to pull it apart. I started with a sealed box, and that's where I started, and I ended up with a product which was lacking in build quality and yet had some merit in the general concept and the idea. So that was the video I put out, and the people behind it understandably got in touch because it wasn't a positive review in the end, unfortunately. I mean, I did buy it with my own money. I spent $69 on it, plus like import duty and stuff, so perhaps, I don't know, maybe getting on for £100 or so by the end of the day. So it was my own money. It wasn't like a promotional thing, so, you know, entitled to review the things I bought. Anyway, they got in touch and said that they were very sorry about the problems I'd experienced, as you'd imagine. And it turns out it was a group of students in China who made this. I think it's like a class project or something almost. They've done well to get it on Indiegogo, and they listed, they mentioned how they'd had some problems with the glue for the various parts, and they'd used the wrong kind of glue. I mean, again, students just trying something out and it hadn't quite worked. So it's unfortunate it hadn't come across well. You know, if it had been a great product, I'd have been recommending it to people by the end of the video. People sometimes get a little bit angry when I do a video and something turns out not to be so good at the end, and it's like my fault for it's the fact that it's not good. I think there's a bit of a disconnect where people don't know that a lot of videos on YouTube are paid promotions, and they'll say it underneath, and they'll put it in the comments, and they'll say this thing has been provided free of charge by the manufacturer for the purpose of making this video, and therefore they would probably be more in contact with the manufacturer and say, well, I've bought, you sent this over, it doesn't work, can you send me another one, that kind of thing. So you end up with a review of something that works more often than not. Whereas I prefer to show the proper user experience. What would happen if somebody just bought something? What would they end up with? And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. It didn't on this one. Anyway, I say they got back in touch, and I noticed also they put on their Indiegogo page that they mentioned, yes, the glass tubes fall off, the magnet falls off, there was a lamp failure, and they say here that they used the wrong glue to start with. They ended up having to sort of stop production, scrape all the glue off the ones they had made, put new glue on them, and also the lamp failure issue I'd had was apparently down to the base of the thing. The gap between the contacts was too close, so that if you twisted it just wrong, you could end up joining two things together at the same time and blowing the circuitry or something. So, you know, they were aware of the issues, and as I say, I'd had this thing in the box for like 6 months or so. They had already fixed the bottom part of it and the glue by the time I'd done my video. So once they got in touch, they said, we can send another one over. And I don't normally do this kind of thing, but I thought, well, I was reviewing a product which you can't actually buy anymore. A lot of people said send it over to Big Clive, and I'd do that if it had been something that was still on sale, but in the version I've got, it wasn't. That had been and gone. That was a mistake version, and this was the updated one. I mean, it's a shame for anyone that bought it on Indiegogo. I hope they've honoured any kind of replacements and things for the first one. But yes, they've sent a new one over to me, is what I'm getting at. So we're going to have a look at this. Now, here's the thing. As I mentioned, I like to buy the things that I'm featuring, so I didn't buy this one. On top of that, they would have to be stupid to send me one out that doesn't work now, that has a fault in it. They'll have tested this thing 10 times over to make sure it works, so bear all that in mind. However, this is a newer version, and it's got Bluetooth in it as well for an Android app, so we'll try that out. So we've got some new stuff we can try. We can have a look what it should look like and how it should work in the end, and maybe they've changed the software a bit and things. So without any further ado, this is a long intro, isn't it? Let's get it out of the box. I said it was going to be a quick video, and have a look at it. Right, now it appears that they've sent two, and I'm going to guess this is a replacement, so let's open that first. Yeah, so that's a replacement tube for my other one. Those are much different, much bigger space between them. There was only a fine line between those three contacts before, so yes, they have changed that. Of course, we assume these are glued in properly. Actually, those are flush now, those magnets. On the previous one, they were slightly recessed, so that's a change. And I'm glad to see the screws haven't had their heads stripped either. So, one more thing, yeah, it's glued together properly. So, yeah, we're off to a much better start this time. I'll put that on my other clock later, but we'll open these up and just see what we've got in here. I wonder if it is two clocks identical to one another. No, they're both the same, and they were both made on the 26th of August 19. Let's have a look at this first one. Now, the fact it's all sealed gives me the feeling they've just taken one of these off the shelf and sent it to me. Don't feel like someone's sort of opened it up and had a good look. So they must have confidence, I think, in their product now. So as before, we've got the instruction manual, we've got the cleaning cloth. I didn't show that last time, that's for the glass, of course. Now, last time I did order a black one, and they sent a red one over, but with an extra black surround that I could put on it. But this time it is a black one. I wonder if the other one's got a different colour to it. Same as last time, we've got the wood either side. This just looks a lot better somehow. Got all these magnets flush, and yeah, that just, it definitely looks better. The other one looks a lot more amateurish. Right, let's have a look at this. We've got the USB power here with a barrel plug. They're no longer supplying the dodgy power adapter as well, I should mention that. It said on their Indiegogo site they couldn't get certification for it, which is no surprise. I can just use one of my own USB chargers. They say don't use a fast charger on it. That's not going to be good for it. It'll draw the extra power, so make sure you're just using a normal USB. Well, I'm happy to say all those tubes are attached to one another. If you didn't remember from last time, these are just a series of digits etched into acrylic panels and then lit from the bottom by LEDs. The tubes are similar size to an IN18 Gixie tube. A couple of questions last time. People said, oh, you must have the tubes the wrong way around. Well, of course it wouldn't work, because A to be at the front and whatever, and also the magnets won't let you put that down. You have to orient it in the correct way like that, so you know when you've got them the right way around, because they just slot into position. Right, so those are all in position now. Let's look for a wobble. Do you remember I had a wobble last time? Well, no wobble this time, so that's good. Now I've got the instruction booklet. It looks like the same as last time. However, one thing that I noticed, it mentions the 12 and 24 hour mode. Remember there was a switch on the last one under the very last digit we had to press to change it in between. Well, that was there. So that's gone now. So I'm wondering if that's one of those features that you need to attach up to Bluetooth to operate, because it doesn't mention you can do it any other way apart from via that switch. Right, so here goes nothing, plugging it in for the first time, and all the tubes are working. Right, so that's what it looks like with all the lights off in the room. Now it's 3 in the afternoon, so let me set the time. So if I remember rightly, you hold the right hand one, and then you can move the digits here. Oh, it's 24-hour clock straight off. Well, that helps. Right, so from there, we can just leave it looking like that, which is, of course, it looks a lot like a Gixie tube. I mean, so it's a nice effect. I say you've got to use this in low light, though, just because of the way it operates. But yeah, that's not bad at all. Right, okay, so let's change the colour scheme. Now, if I remember, it's double tap on the right. So we've got a white one here. Now, this doesn't come across too well on the camera. I'll just adjust the exposure down. Yeah, so that's what it looks like kind of to me in the room. Right, so move on to the next setting, double tap. Now, this one is a colour cycling mode. So we start off at yellow, and we're going to work our way through the various colours. I'll let it go all the way through this time. I didn't on the previous video, but we'll just see all the different variants of the colours that those LEDs are able to produce. Now, you can stop on any of these colours yourself, so if you prefer the look of one over another, then you can adjust it. So let's, actually that is too dark on the camera now. That's kind of more what I'm seeing. Yeah, it's a nice pink, and I'm imagining it was just about to come round again now, back to the beginning. Yeah, that's yellow. Right, okay. So next double tap, that's the multicolour mode. Now with this one, you'll see each of these digits will change colour. Again, we'll cycle like they did last time. I think that's probably the setting I'd leave it on, just because of the fact that this isn't a Gixie clock. Gixie clocks are always kind of an orange colour. this emphasises the fact that it can do something that a Gixie Clock can't. Right, so the next one is just one of these cycling modes. Same with that one, that's just doing it quicker. Next one, oh, this is different. Didn't have that on the last one. And then we're back to the beginning again. So from there we've got the colour cycling. We can hold down these buttons to adjust the colour, and you can press the other way to get it back in the other direction. Well, let's just test it out. Take a tube off, put it back on again, twist it around, see if I can destroy any more this time. So now they're designed to cut out when they get twisted beyond a certain point, so I'm not able to crash this one like I could with the other one. Okay, now let's have a look at this application. The first thing I'll say is it is available on the Play Store, but that version is not working properly at the moment, so you have to download one from the Indiegogo page instead. I've downloaded that here. The first thing you notice when you load it up is that it's in Chinese, the menu system here. However, that's not a problem, you can change it. You just tap on the right here, tap the top one there, and the bottom one, and now you're into English. It is an early version of this app. They're definitely going to do updates to this, I'd imagine, over time. This is sort of a beta, or a beta, if you want to pronounce it that way. So anyway, we've got the menu system in English now. The first thing we have to do to connect up to this is tap up here. This doesn't look like a button, it says discover, but if we tap on that we can see the Gixie Clock there. Tap on that now and we are now connected up with it. Now the first thing you can do is use this app to change the colours, just as you could on the device itself. Now that you're thinking, well, I might as well just do that with the buttons, but you can do something different on here. You can select individual tubes to change the colour of. So for example, if I wanted the first two in the hours to be a different colour to the rest of them, I could do that. And then if I just wanted to change the colour of the seconds, there you go. So, you know, it separates it out a little bit better, makes it a little bit clearer. So that's one of the things you can do. You can change the colour of the individual tubes. The next thing is you've got an alarm function on here. So it's 14:06 and 44. If I'm quick on this, I'll be able to set it to 14:07. Whoops, I've gone the wrong way. Quick. Right, set the alarm on, and just in time, there you go. Now to stop the alarm beeping, double tap the end one, and we've also got a timer on here. We can set the timer anything up to 23 hours 59 minutes, or the minimum countdown timer is 1 minute, and if we do that it'll start counting down. As you can see, we're not going to wait till the end because it just does the same beep as the other thing, and you double tap the button at the end to stop it. There are a couple of little issues here. Notice at the bottom of the screen it says turn on the timer. Well, that's actually turn off the timer, which I'll do now. And now we're back to the time again. So that's what the application does. A couple of little features you can't do with the device itself. You can therefore use this as an alarm clock if you want, although I'd imagine it might get a little bit bright if it was in your bedroom. But, you know, nice to have additional features. Now, let's have a look at the old clock I had and see if we can spot the differences between the two. Right, so here's the first box. You can see on there it's got a production date of March the 10th, 2019. But let's just have a look in here. I'll just pull out one of these tubes, one of the ones that was put together properly. And you can see the differences here. New one on the left, bigger spacing between the contacts. Old one on the right. Also, the old one's got slightly recessed magnets on it, whereas the new one, they're more flush. Now, this is kind of difficult to see on the camera. The red one is the original one. And you see where the sort of pogo pins are in the middle, how there's marks around there, like there's kind of glue spread around. The new one definitely looks better put together. Still using the same system, but just an overall better quality to it. Okay, so I've got my original clock on the right here, and I've got the tubes that came with it, and then the one new one. Yeah, so this was the one that only showed 0, so this was the one that failed. Well, that's the new one, so that's working fine. Right, we're back to normal now. The old one still has its wobbles and cutouts and issues with glue and things, and none of that. There we go. None of that with the new one at all. I can shake this one around, bang it about, do what I want, take a tube out, put it back, twist them around, and this one just keeps going. So there you have it. That is the Gixie Clock, and after that remarkably rough start in that original video, they've managed to come good on their promise and release a really decent product. I always like the idea of these edge-lit acrylic panels in tubes, and I'm glad they managed to get them working properly in this implementation. And it does work properly. There's no issues whatsoever with this. I haven't had any problems with it at all. I think the students who put this together should be proud of what they managed to achieve in the end, and they will have learnt a lot from this experience, not least of which is the importance of making a good first impression, but also the ability to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go back and work on what you got wrong so that you can then release the product that you originally intended to send to people. And that is something that not necessarily would happen with every Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I've dealt with quite a few in the past who were just happy to send you out some rubbish and keep the money. With this, they took the time to get the product right in the end. Now, if you do want one of these, there's links in the video description text box to Indiegogo. Now, I'm not on any kind of commission or kickback for those, but do bear in mind I got this one for free and I've got another one in a box. That other one I'm going to leave in the box because I'm going to give it to a family member as a Christmas present. I wouldn't have given the original version to my worst enemy, so that definitely says something about how much I think this product has improved. But I hope you've enjoyed having a look at this here today, but that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching.